Here we are recording. So let's get to our chairs. It's a little noisy outside. I don't know if they're blowing leaves or cutting grass, so who knows, but hopefully they won't get too close to impair the hearing. I'm going to move my microphone closer, which I forgot to do, so that you can hear me well. And let's start in our neutral position here, where we sit at the very edge of our chairs. And literally like sit bones are 1/4 of an inch to the rolling over and out of the chair. And then bring your feet hip distance apart, feet parallel, no toes out, no toes in, because ideally you want to have not only the feet to parallel, but the knees to parallel and all aligned to the hip distance. It should be exactly the same. Not here, nor there. Here the hips would be wider, here the legs would be wider. So that's what we're trying to aim to. Hip, knees, and feet in the same alignment. And please, 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 because I know that by experience, when I'm saying all that, you're all intellectualizing it and thinking rationally from here that you're doing the right thing. But we have eyes for a good reason, among so many other reasons, is to check if we're actually in the right position. So check down, make sure your feet are right underneath your knees, because also another aspect is that you want to have your shin bone perpendicular to the floor. Not in this angle, neither in this one. Right here, so that you're fully supported. The weight is fully distributed among the whole surface of the foot, instead of heel here or towards the ball of the foot and the toes there. So again, check and make sure you're in this position where we start from, we finish at, and in between, a lot of the exercises we're doing are coming from this position. So it's really essential that you get it down properly. Hands are resting on top of the thigh, you're relaxing the shoulders down, you're finding your seat so that you're not rounding back and sloping, but allowing your hips to roll forward a little bit, and find a gentle arching in your back. Not overarching, just a natural arching of your low spine. And then we close the eyes and we take full breath through the nose, in and out, and we welcome the breath into the body, becoming fully aware of the movement of the breath, the quality of the breath, the texture, the sound, all the different aspects of the breath. Paying close attention on how the breath, as it enters the body, has an effect on the body, whether you sense that it's expanding your torso out, or it's lifting your spine up, or it's opening the space between the ribs, or it's opening the space between the ribs and the hips, or you're feeling the belly inflating out. Whatever sensation that you become aware of first, and then the unfolding sensations after, that's what we're looking for. We want to go down from the head space where we're hanging out in most of our days, to an embodied experience, to coming down into the body. And sometimes that's a little scary. You may have apprehension, because if you're having some aches and pains, our first reaction is wanting to avoid them and not face them, which, believe me, make them worse. If you go into the body and really take the time to acknowledge your body, to see and feel what's going on, and the body can soften, relax, doesn't have to create super strong flags asking for attention because something is off. You're being invited to really get in touch with your body through the breath, and through seeking for the different sensation that the breath invites, triggers, enhances into your body experience. And let's take just 2 or 3 more breaths here, where not only we're connecting to breath and body, but now we're connecting also to what are the different surfaces of support that are holding our body in this efficient seated position, where things are a little more relaxed than usual, hopefully. So feel the axis of the feet with the floor and trust that axis to be sturdy, steady, strong, stable, so that you can really relax in that support. And then feel the axis of your sit bones with the chair, so that now you can relax a little deeper onto your seat. You relax and melt inwardly into the torso to allow the outer body to soften a little bit. So now you're addressing already a soft releasing of tensions that you might be carrying around into different parts of your body. And take one more breath from the sensation on your feet, through your legs, through your torso and arms, through your head and face. Exhaling deep through the nose. And open your eyes and let's roll the shoulders. We're going to access first the shoulders today. Take a few rolls, rolling the shoulders forward, up, back and down. And as you can see, my hands and my arms are relaxed. My elbows are slightly bent. And reverse, we roll the shoulders back, elbows slide back a little bit, up, forward and down. Doesn't have to be a major range of motion. We're just starting off here. So it can be tiny, just to the degree that your shoulders can take right now without struggling too much, just loosening up through a gentle warm up. And relax, and we're going to bring that right arm forward and across toward the left and over the head, and see my arm is very much bent. And we're just adding extra movement into the shoulder. Sweeping over your head, in front of you, gently back and down. And reverse, roll in. Breathe all along, nice and deep. 2 more. And relax and release. Left arm sweep forward, back and down. Up in front of you, around your face and head, and back and down. And you can go slower than I'm going, or you can go maybe a little faster. If you go faster, usually they engage more action, more muscular tension, whereas if you go really slow, it brings a lot more attention and mindful movement in. And reverse. Go back, over the head and forward. Breathe in, breathe out. 2 more. And relax. Arms to the side, shake things out from the hands and fingers to the elbows and shoulders, lifting and dropping. And let's shake up and down. Shake up and down. Shake, shake, shake. Don't be shy about the shaking. So often I see people struggling with the shaking for some reason. And it's because you're tensing things up or you're trying too hard. It's very much about loosening up around your fingers and your wrists and just shaking it off as if you had something sticky. That might have happened to you. It happened to me probably several times in my life of having something sticky on my fingers and not wanting to use the other hand so that the other hand wouldn't get sticky, and not like shaking it up. It doesn't work all the time to get rid of it. Just an idea we have about it, but we try it, we shake it off. So instead of that stinky thing that is a physical thing, think that you're shaking off stinky tensions, stinky stresses. Let's take a few more here. And relax. Land your hands on your lap. And now feel the shaking creates this sensation of tingling when you stop because of all the activation of nerves and circulation, blood circulation. It also activates the lymphatic system. It has a lot of benefits, as well as obviously softening the muscle tension. Take one deep breath in and long deep breath out. And let's stretch the arms forward. Now we're gonna go into active arms. Pressing your palms forward as if you were pressing a wall in front of you. We're gonna push forward, and I'm gonna go to the side so you can see. You're leaning forward from the hips. You're gonna roll the hips forward and push, and then curl the hands in, dig down, and pull up. And push forward, push your wall, stretch out, flex your hands, pull in, dig, and release. Stretch out, inhale, exhale, dig in and up. Keep on going, push forward, hands down, dig in, pull up. Inhale, exhale, or exhale, inhale. Whatever works better for you. Try to find one part of the breath in one movement and the other part of the breath in the other movement, whether it's the inhale stretching forward or the exhale and the inhale pulling up or the exhale. Two more. And last. And pull and dig and come up and rest. Hands on top of the lap. Relaxing breath. Notice how the body feels. Whatever feels tiny different or drastically different, just acknowledge. And we're going to bring again the arms forward, palms facing each other. And we're going to open the arms out and back and stretch the chest. So if I'm sideways, I'm going to show you sideways how it looks like. We're not stopping just here or there. You're really trying to open the chest and roll the shoulders back and bring the shoulder blades together as much as possible. And then we soften in, inhale, exhale, open out, breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Big chest. Two more. Breathe in and out. And last one. Breathe in and out. And back to your lap. Take a moment here. Relax. Feel your arms. Feel your chest. Maybe your breath capacity has increased a little bit, broadened and deepened. And we're going to go into the spine now. Going to drop the right hand to the side and go and lean to the right. You're pressing into the right foot because if not, this is what's going to happen. Your left sit bone is going to lift. You lose the left foot down. You just eventually drop. We don't want that. So come from a position that is nice and tall. Use the weight of your arm to start pulling down to the side and press into the right foot. And once you feel that your left foot becomes way too light, you stay where you are, you press your left sit bone down and you come back up. And go to the other side. Left arm, start leaning over to the left, press into the left foot. Keep on grounding through the right hip. When you feel your right foot is becoming really light, you push back up. And let's switch sides. Right arm pressing into the right foot. Head is following. Come back up. Left side, dropping your head, your arm, your shoulder, pressing down into the left foot. Come back up. Exhale to the right. Inhale to center. Shifting the weight on the feet. Exhale to the left. Pressing into the left foot. Inhale back up. One more on each side. Exhale to the right. Pressing back up. Exhale to the left. And pressing back up. Hands on top of the lap. You can move your hands a little further forward. And let's rock the hips forward and back. From arching the back to rounding. Head is eventually following. At first, it might stay still and stiff in the same position. But as you find more softening through the rocking, then the head naturally will follow the movement of the spine from arching, bringing the chin out, and rounding, dropping the chin in. And you can go to a broader range of motion if that's available to you. So you're really rocking forward and back. And when you're rocking back, you might even touch the back of your seat from the upper back. Here, I don't have the back of the seat here, but if I am to turn it this way, so I have the back of the seat here, I'm going in broad motion here to almost touching the back of the chair. And we go deeper forward and deeper back. And now as we go back, we're rounding the shoulders in and together. As we go forward, we're opening the shoulders back, bringing the shoulder blades together. We're using the feet to pull and push from one end to the other end of the movement. And we inhaling, pulling the breath in as we come forward, and exhaling, squeezing the breath out as we go back. And we're going to start narrowing the movement in, so we're not going as far back and as far forward. Tiny in. And back to neutral. Rest in breath. Take a moment here. Feel your spine, feel your hips. Feel your neck and head. Take a couple more breaths here. Deep in, long out. Opening toes out, opening heels out, opening toes out. Find the right position here. Make sure that the knees are still on top of the ankles. See, the shins are still perpendicular to the floor. They're not out, neither they're in. So find that same alignment. That's why we're doing it this way. It's easier not to mess up doing this way than just opening out and positioning in whichever way. Look down to make sure again that you're not just fooling yourself, that the knees are on top of the ankles, the toes are pointing forward in alignment with the knees instead of turning in or out. And from here, hands to the knees, and we're gonna roll around. You're using your hands here because having the legs open out makes you a little more unstable. If you were to do it without the hands, it would require a lot more back muscle activation and belly. But here we want to soften the layers of muscles as much as possible so we get into the rotation of the spine, of the vertebrae. And also, if we soften the belly here, if you soften the abs, because you're using your hands and arms to rotate, that gives an opportunity also to stir into the digestive organs. And if some of you have IBS, suffering constipation, heartburn, all this kind of thing that can happen in the digestive system, this is a good way to cool it off, to calm it, to soften and relax it. And reverse. Let's go the opposite direction, using the hands and arms, pressing down into the feet, still rooted onto the chair from the sit bones down. You're floating your rib cage out and in. Last two. And back to center. Left hand to your right knee, right arm over. Let's give a nice long stretch to the side here, reaching out to the right arm, pressing down into the right sit bone. And breathe. And swing your arm in front of you and out and reach out to the right. Press into the right foot, arm parallel to the floor. Inhale here. Exhale, sweep over again. Stretch long. Imagine you have something to grab up on the ceiling here or shelf above you, and you're pressing down in your feet, pressing down into the sit bones to really stretch out, to give more length to the right arm. Then soften that right arm across and reach out to the table on the side here. You want to grab something way out and press in your feet. Don't get disconnected and in this awkward position that could create a muscle spasm, right? So reach into an active and supported way. And swing last one over. Reach across. Lengthen out. Swing the arm over and slide out and reach out to the right. And release back to center. Take a moment here, soften, feel the difference between right side, left side of the waistline. Feel the activation also and the sensation into the belly. Make sure your legs are engaged. You're not just relaxing like this right here. Press down, sit tall, and let's go to the other side. Right hand is resting on the right leg. Left arm sweeps up. Lean over to the right. Press down into your feet. Press down into the left sit bone. Reach out into your left hand. Swing the arm forward and across and sweep out to the left. Inhale. Exhale, stretch. Swing across. Reach out. Keep on breathing. When I'm not telling you the breath, you're still breathing. You're not holding it, waiting for me to tell you the next breath move. Inhale. Stretch out. Keep on breathing. Exhale. Keep the breath flowing. Pressing down in your feet. Pressing down into the sit bones. Swing that arm across, soft and easy, and then reach long out to the left, out to the other table on this other side. And last one. Go across to the right, reach. Swing the arms, soft and easy, and extend out to the left. And bring everything back to center. Toes in, heels in, toes in. Find hip distance apart. Check down. Make sure this is the case. And relax here. Take a few breaths in and out. Bring your left hand to the chair. And shift your weight to your left sit bone. So your right sit bone is going to lift. And you're going to bring your right arm forward and lift that right knee up and down, up and down, up. And now open and circle. Arm and leg. And here you have to press down into the left foot. You kind of have almost like a swimming motion here on the arm and leg. And the torso is tilting a little bit forward and back. And land. Come back to center. Give a little maybe swing for the shoulders and the hips, or shake the hips out a little bit, and come back to neutral. Right hand to the chair, left arm across slightly. You're not lifting far up, just up the floor, about shoulder height. Shift your weight to your right sit bone, so your left hip and left sit bone. See the action here, from here to lifting up. Lift the knee and drop and lift and drop, and one more warm up. Lift and drop, and now we're going to move open. Arm and legs are rotating. And here it requires balancing. If you have an arm to your chair, you can place your hand here. Two more. And land and come back to center. Swing a little bit. Rock the hips forward and back. Reset into center. And come back to neutral. Take a couple breaths here. Feel the size of the waistline, the belly, the low back. Deep breath in, long breath out. Grabbing behind your right leg, clasping the fingers, press down to the left foot, extend the spine, and shift back. And we're going to rock the boat forward and back. I'm going to go sideways so you can check it out from that perspective. Rocking forward and back, nice and easy. Right foot is completely relaxed, and you're using your straight arms and the weight of your torso on one end and the weight of the leg on the other end to find this pendulum motion here. Now we're going to add a movement of the leg, still in the rocking of the torso. So you're going to sweep that right foot forward, up and back. And you're going into this motion of the leg, scooping up and relaxing back as you keep on rocking forward and back. So imagine you want to grab something on the floor to the top of the foot, lift it up, and then drop it down a little closer in. Whichever visual you want to have here, keep on moving. And back to center. Pull the knee in, chest toward the knee. Stretch the leg out and flex the foot out as you stretch out. Relax down, pull in, inhale. Flex the foot, stretch the leg, exhale. Pull in. Stretch out and away. One last, pull in. And stretch out and away. And relax that foot. Shift forward, relax the right foot down, and come back to sitting to neutral. Take a few breaths here, deep in, long out. And let's switch sides. You don't switch sides this way, you just switch legs. I'm just going around so you can see a little easier. Fingers interlace behind the left leg. Press down into the right foot. Push and lift up, and we're going to get into the rocking motion of our boat, forward and back. The head is following the movement, so naturally when you're rocking back, the chin goes in a little bit. When you're coming forward, the chin goes slightly away. Just watching. It's not like you're doing it. You're not thinking, oh, where's my chin? You're just noticing that it's all connected. The hips are rolling, the head is moving. A few more. Here I'm using actively my right foot to push and pull forward. And I'm using the weight of my leg and my torso to go forward and back. And now let's add the movement of the foot, scooping forward, lift up, and fold in. can go a little slower here to synchronize the movement of the leg with the rocking of the torso. Two more here. And back to center. Now we're pulling knee in and up and torso toward the knee. Squeeze into center, pull out. Squeeze in and out. One more for the warm up here. Pull in and out. Let's add the foot and leg. Pull in. Flex the foot, stretch out. Bend, pull in. Flex the foot, stretch out. Drop, pull in. If you cannot stretch the leg all the way out like me, you can stretch it halfway, but keep the foot flexed. And then relax the foot as you pull the knee in. Flex the foot, stretch to whichever degree you can stretch the leg out. Low here, a little higher or far higher. Relax, pull in. Flex the foot, stretch out. And one last. Pull in. Flex the foot, stretch out. And relax. Land down. Come back to sitting. Give a few hip rolls. You again, and you're going to roll around the hips and the sit bones to reset everything back to neutral. And reverse. If you get dizzy, just do it 2-3 times and look at something in front of you that is steady, that is not moving. And back to center. Pause and breathe. You can even close your eyes here for 2-3 breaths and really tap into your body. Come back into feeling your body and the different areas that might be talking to you that have a little stronger sensation than others. Good. One more breath here. And opening the eyes. We're going to bring the hands together, clasp the fingers, stretch the palms out, stretch the arms. Inhale, stretch up, stretch the back into the armpits. Exhale, round in. I'm going to do this 3 times to reset the upper spine. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, round in. 2 more, breathe in. Out one more time because it feels really good. I don't know on your end, but on mine it feels really good to open the chest and the back and press up. And soften and release down. Clasp your fingers this way. Left hand down, right hand on top, and clasp the fingers here. And you bring your hands at the heart level. Center of the chest, what we call the spiritual heart, because you're like probably thinking, well, my heart is right here on the left side, right? That's the physical heart. But there's so many traditions that feel that the spiritual heart, the seat of the soul, is right here in the center of the chest. So let's align your hands to the center of the chest. And from here, we're gonna bring the elbows one at a time up and down. So what's important here is that you're not moving the hands doing this, right? Or any kind of crazy thing. You want to anchor your hands right at the center of the chest, the center of the heart center. And you want to tilt here from this axis. For some, if it's really tight in the shoulders, your movement might be just tiny bit here. For others, it might be a little higher. But keep the hands right in spot. Keep on breathing. Try to lift from the elbows rather than the shoulders. There's a difference between doing this and doing that. So try to make it from the elbows. Couple more. And relax. Hands down. Take a breather here, or even bring your arms to the side and shake it out. And let's switch. So we had the left hand down and the right hand on top. We're going to switch. Right hand down, left hand on top, palms facing each other. And we clasp the fingers. We roll the fingers and claw. And hands again at the heart level. And then we're going to go again from side to side, lifting elbow, lowering the opposite one. It's in one line, all together, moving together. It's not like, right? Keep it all together. One unit. Keep on breathing. And two more. Back to center, release, relax your hands down, first landing, and then shake it out. And relax. Gonna open the feet again, toes out, heels out, toes out. Find here your wide legs, not hyper wide so that you're still stable. Find the right distance that you're anchored. Shin bones are still perpendicular to the floor. And from here, we're going to swing the arms from side to side. So watch out that you're not bumping into the chair, or if you do, use your hand to kind of grab. And now add the head. So you're hearing my rings tapping with the back of the chair here. Keep on going. I'm going to place my chair sideways. You can see that way how it looks. Soft and easy. I'm just like slightly touching the chair with my hand. And keep on going. Head is going along. Next time that you're rotating to the right, stay, grab your chair, left hand to the outside of the knee and pull, look over the right shoulder. So here, a new move. If you're really open here, your back is nice and long, that you're not here, right? That you don't feel any tension on your back. You just feel the twist from the midline. Then see if you can reach across with your right hand to the opposite side of the chair and pull, and now you'll feel a stretch, not only a twist in the spine, but a stretch into the right shoulder. And breathe. One more breath. And then soften in, release that right hand, come back to center. And once you're back to center, you're going to cross your arms, right arm on top of the left, and round in. Hug in, spread between the shoulder blades, drop the chin down. And let's go again into that swinging and twisting, nice and easy. I'm going to turn to the other side. You stay facing me and you keep on going. Don't cheat. I know I cannot see you, so you can do whatever you want, but you're just cheating yourself. So keep on moving, keep on breathing. Next time you're rotating to the left, stay. Anchor your right hand to the outside of the left leg. Make sure you're not pulling the knee in. Keep your leg engaged to really hold that space and support for the right hand. Left hand is grabbing the back of the chair or the arm of the chair, and you're twisting out with a nice toe back. You're not doing this. If you're already starting from a position where you're here and rounding, there's no twist happening. Here you're just overstretching in a bad way your back muscles on the right side. So make sure you start from nice and long and you're twisting over like a little twist from midline out to the rib cage. The rib cage are twisting out to the left and your torso is nice and long. Again, if you feel good here, you feel that you have a little more range of motion, especially for the left shoulder. You can swing the arm to the outside of the other side of the chair. And now you feel the stretch also on the chest and the front of the left shoulder. Again, if you go there and you're going in this position, this is not going to feel good. So make sure that if you go there, it starts from a position where the chest is wide open, not curling in. If not, you stay right where you are at. It's not that it's a better position to be in, is that if for some of you you're already quite open, you get a deeper stretch. But you can get a deeper stretch only if the position you're in is already set as comfortable as the breath being fluid, moving in and out, the shoulder being already rotating back and open. If not, it's contra indicated. It's not going to do its work. Keep on breathing here. And then soften and release. Then cross your left arm over the right, grab behind or to the side of the upper arm and round in and breathe. And soften back in, come back to center, realign to your neutral position here. And rest and breath for 2-3 rounds of breath in and out. And we're gonna stand up and do the back stretch, but before we go straight into standing up, which is what we've done in the past several weeks, I want you to exercise that standing up. Several of you have been to my class, attending my class for a long time now, over a year. Is it a year, 2 years? Wow, time goes by so fast. Anyways, so for those you know already what we're going to work with. For those who are new to this specific way of standing up, I'm going to describe every single stage of it, and we're going to go up and down the chair several times to really feel those activations. So we normally, when we stand up from being on a couch, especially on a couch, on a chair, we don't really think about it. We're like, oh, I need to stand up or whatever, I need to go. And you've been like this for a while. And you're like, oh, I need to stand up. And you're like, because you're locked in a position that is so stiff and so not supportive of your body, right, for standing up, that you're locked in and you're trying to find access out of like, how am I going to get off this chair? So instead of doing that, let's use everything we have to actually empower the body to lift light and easy. Well, the first thing we have to think of is, what are we pressing against? Because what you're doing when you're standing up is going against gravity. Gravity is pushing us down, right? And pressing us down. And you want to have access to something that is going to bounce back from that pull down. And therefore, the best access to get is the part of the body that is in support with something, a surface that is steady and strong, from which you can push and press up. The first axis we have is the feet. That's why we're in this neutral position. The second axis we have is the sit bones. On the first axis, you're going to need to shift your weight a little bit forward so that you have complete access to the lift. Shifting the weight forward doesn't mean rounding forward. You have to roll from all the movement of the hip that we did. There's a rocking of the hips forward, and now you feel the weight has shifted onto your feet. Then the second axis is the pelvis. So you want to go into the pelvis muscles between the hips, the sit bones, tailbone, and pubic bone. There's a whole mesh of different really strong muscles that constitute the pelvic floor. And that's where you want to access and squeeze those muscles up. How do you squeeze the muscle up? It's the same action than when you need to go pee and you cannot pee in that moment because you're out in the street or you need to reach out to the bathroom, right? And so you're containing and closing the urethra, the access to the bladder that releases the pee out. And so you want to squeeze that in and up, and that feel that activation not only of the pelvis, but also of the low belly. So let's do that a few times. First, shift forward, the hips. You can have your hands on top of the knees. Relax the pelvis, relax the glutes. And then we're going to squeeze those pelvic muscles. If that means that you're squeezing the butt cheeks a little bit to find that access, that's fine. You can squeeze the butt cheeks first, which is going to contract the pelvis, but then try to relax the sit bones and relax the glutes and just activate that inner muscles of the pelvis lifting up. And when you do that, you feel the belly activating, and then relax again. Relax all the way to the belly. And one more, squeeze the pelvis. For those who had kids and they were instructed by their OB-GYN to do Kegel, that's the same exercise. For you men, you haven't done that, but it's the same intention that you're squeezing those pelvic muscles and relaxing. One more, squeeze in and up, and that on its own is a really good exercise to do. And relax. Now we're going to take all these components together. You're rolling your hips forward, you're pressing down into your feet, activating your leg, squeeze your pelvic muscles up, and then lift a few inches and go back down and relax. Shift forward, activate the legs, squeeze the pelvic muscles, lift up, and go down. Relax completely. Two more. Shift forward, roll the hips, press down in your feet, squeeze the pelvic muscles and the belly, lift up, and sit back and completely relax. And last one. Shift forward, press down in your feet, squeeze the pelvic muscles, the belly, lift up, and sit back down and relax. Hands to the belly, give a belly rub. And let's do it now to lift completely up. Shift forward, press down on your feet, activate the pelvis, the belly, lift, and extend up. I'm going to tilt the computer in a way that you can see me a little more fully here. And we're going to go into the back stretches. Okay, so you're going to go to the back of your chair. Stand to the back of your chair, nice and tall. Bring your feet hip distance apart. Look down to make sure that's the case. No toes out like a duck. No toes in like a shy person. Now you bring your feet to parallel, same way that we had it when we were sitting. And you're going to shift your weight a little bit forward and back, kind of a balancing, a swinging on top of your feet. Your hips are rolling forward and back a little bit. And then find the ideal spot right in between, meaning that your weight is not primarily on the ball of the feet, neither is too intense on the heels. You find the spot right in between. And then we're going to shift and swing a little bit from side to side, from right to left. The swing of the hips parallel to the floor, just gliding out to the right and gliding out to the left. And now make it a little more narrow and find your center where the point of gravity is dropping from the tailbone straight down to between your heels. And the center of the pelvis, as if you had a little weight right in the center of the pelvis, and that weight is dropping down to between your feet. That's fine. That's the axis and the axis, the center point that allows you to stand with no effort, no tension, stacking bone to bone, relaxing the muscles around. Head is right on top, like the cherry on top. nice and loose and floaty. And this is your proper standing position. That here, if you are to release your arms to the side of the body, they're right on the side, they're not forward, neither they're back. Ears are right on top of the shoulders. And take that internal snapshot. Feel your body in this position. There's a micro bend in the knees. You're not pulling your knees back because that throws you off again. Nice and easy. And now take one breath as if you were breathing from your feet up to the top of the head. And you're exhaling from the top of the head down to your feet. Now here, place your hands back on top of the chair, and we're going to walk back and find how far back you need to go so that when you're leaning forward from the hips, you're not rounding, you're rolling. You start with a tilting of the sit bones back, like cheerleader butt, right? Pull back and up. And from here, lean forward and find a straight back here. So not straight, completely straight, because that would mean that you're pulling your belly in and up. Find a slight arching, the same arching that we have when we're standing. This is not the ideal t-shirt to see this, but here we don't have a straight flat spine like this. There's always a tiny or more pronounced curve from the mid-back sloping down toward the tailbone. And from there up, you have a rounding slightly between the shoulder blades, very slightly, and then another curve here at the neck level. And this is what we want to find when we're going into the back stretch. You want to stretch back, head between the arms. You can bend the knees as much as you need to be able to curl those sit bones up a little bit. And then you pull out and away from the chair as if someone was holding you to the front of the thighs and pushing back. And this is a sensation you want to get into your back stretch. If you're going in the back stretch here, yeah, you're going to feel a stretch, but probably not the most beneficial stretch. You really want to feel the stretch through the front of the torso, where it pulls from the lower ribs to the front of the hips. You feel a belly stretch, and through the back. And you bend the knees as much as you need to find that spot. You don't relax your head down. You keep your crown of the head reaching forward and your ears aligning with the arms. And now you feel the stretch also into the armpits and the arms. Take a couple breaths here. Imagine again that someone is pulling your thighs back. One more breath. And then press through your feet, press through your hands. Now you're rounding up to come back up. And we walk forward to that initial position that we'll work on today, the ideal standing position. Try to find it back, including releasing your arms to the side of the body, softening the knees a little bit, find the right tilt of the pelvis, not in nor over back, just neutral in between. Feel the weight of the body on top of your feet. Is your weight more towards the toes or more towards the heels? Is it more to the outer edge of the feet or the inner edges of the feet? How do you have a tendency to put more weight on one side, right or left? And take one more breath, inhaling from your feet up to the top of the head. And exhaling from the top of the head, back down to the feet through the whole body. And let's come back to our seated position. Facing you again for the closing of the class. Come to sitting in your neutral position. Realign your feet to hip distance apart, shins perpendicular to the floor, hands resting on your lap, and close your eyes. feel your breath. What's the quality of the flow of your breath at the end of this class? And then ride the breath into your body and feel your body. Really feel it. Sense every part of your body, starting with the most obvious parts of the body that are calling for attention, maybe, whether they're filled with joy and a sense of relief and they're so happy about it, or they still have a little achiness, a little soreness, tension, tightness, and they still have a voice for that needs to be heard. Not to be judged, not to be repressed, neither pushed away, not to be angry at it, just simply being present with all parts of the body and what they have to tell you. There's nothing worse than a part of you wanting to be heard, asking for attention, and getting louder and louder through aches and pains because you don't want to see it, you don't want to feel it. Once you start feeling it and accepting it, embracing it as a part of who you are, then usually that voice, that sensation softens, gets less loud. It's like a little kids. Kids scream and shout and do all kinds of tricks to get our attention. And if you give them the right amount of attention so that they feel included, acknowledged, loved, and cared for, then they don't need to scream, they don't need to shout. And that's the same with the body. So take just a couple more breaths to really dig into what your body is telling you. And at the same time, reinforce in the dialogue with your body the fact that here you're safe, everything is okay, you're not at risk, you're not threatened and under attack. So you can completely relax on your seat. You can establish a communication and a relationship out of understanding, listening, in a space of peace and calm and surrender, being vulnerable to yourself. Nobody else is watching you, nobody else is listening to you. You're just establishing this intimate relationship with your own self. And maybe some compassion, some gratitude will arise spontaneously, not out of forcing it or calling upon it because this is the right thing to do, but just arising from this genuine relationship and dialogue you're establishing with yourself. And let's finish this practice today with a belly rub. So bring your hands on top of the belly and press gently in and rotate in circular motion, rubbing in and breathing along, softening and relaxing in the comforting sensation of this belly rub. You know how effective a belly rub can be, again, on a child when they're having colics and pains and aches, when they're not digesting properly. It's so calming, so grounding. So enjoy this belly rub that probably you never give to yourself. You're always willing to give love, attention, hugs, and belly rubs to others, to your beloved ones, but rarely you do that for yourself. And then let's move the hands up to the chest and let's give a heart rub. You can either place your hands apart or hands on top of each other, one hand down, the other one on top, and then get into this chest rub, heart rub. where you're pressing your hands in and you're gliding in circular motion against your rib cage, and you're breathing deep in the motion of your hands. A little slower for the last couple rounds. And then let's move the palms to cup the eyes with. Relax your hands here, feel the warmth. And gently release your hands, sweeping them off and down your face, opening your eyes, and coming back to the room, coming back to your house, to your chair, feeling your body and your breath with awareness and connection and relationship to the environment around. And that's how we're closing our class today. I'm going to come to you, stop the recording, and then you'll be able to open your cameras. I'll also unlock the ability to turn your microphones on.